Good morning, all, and welcome to the first of what I hope is many live Q&As. Today, I'll be taking a question sent through and answering it. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Hmm. Okay. So somebody asked the question. Around one of our previous surveys around around having enough time to grow your business. They're in full-time employment and they have a business that they're running on the side. I believe it's in fashion. So, without knowing more, it'd be difficult to advise. But I would have loved to have this person on our call, and that's why going forward, I think the 7:30 slot is way too early, and I'll be moving it to 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock GMT +2, which is South African Standard Time. And what I would say, though, in general, is the key to anything really, and I only realized this after many years of focusing more on the strategies, is how you are being and what you are, where you're coming from in terms of mindset. So, how do I say this? So one of my coaches said, you need to give your business first priority. That needs to be, that needs to be the priority. And generally what happens with especially high performers, who, start a side business or something, is that in your mindset up to now, you define yourself by your success or by pleasing people, or in some way form, you've attached your identity to the work that you're doing currently. And what does that look like? Well, you're looking at whether it's, you are, you're one of those who's more task-based and you like to do your tasks well. And there the issue is, especially if you're good at your tasks, which you probably are, then you get more and more of that type of work. And because you're constantly seeking that validation of doing a task well, you put your own tasks second. Firstly, because there's nobody to tell you that you're doing your own business well, especially in the beginning, if you haven't yet made sales. And even then, when you start making efforts out there, you realize that putting yourself out there as a business, it's not an immediate validation. You won't get that sense of success as you would, completing a task that is clear and defined. What I mean by that, for instance, as an example, is if you are going out there to make sales and in your business, and you won't get a yes every time. It's just not the way that works. So you can imagine, so the mindset orientation really needs to shift so that you really are able to, prioritize your own work. And what does that look like? It looks like being able to say no, to be able to put boundaries in place for your current business, for your current job, to delegate more, to do all these things. So if your mindset and your ability to say no to tasks, whether it's because you're someone who is sort of defined by doing tasks excellently. That's you, right? That has to take a back seat at some point. And not to say that you will suck, but you know, for someone who anything less than excellent has never been sufficient, whether it's because, you know, we've always judged your stuff, you've always been judged for being the best. It's very hard for you to necessarily deprogram yourself away from giving your best um, to to this, giving just good enough to this. And another aspect is also the people pleasers amongst us, myself included, where it's been inculcated in us that it's important to please, and if your job, if you have a very demanding boss, and it's sort of more, it's less from doing the task well. It's more about pleasing them that you then overcommit, or pleasing your clients, and you find yourself, you know, spending, all your time, in those types of things, prioritizing that, because for you, that's your starting point. Your starting point is, seeking that, and and by the way, the same would apply in your business. As you launch it, as you start it, you might not get that validation, by positive affirmation from others. You might get it like, nah, yeah, not like, because you're getting feedback. You're testing out your theory of what your business, you're starting. You're not newly established, so not every interaction will be a positive one. Meanwhile, in your work, you'll have very clear parameters as to how to please this person. It's all clear, it's all set. And there'll be tasks, there'll be KPIs, you know, they'll tell you what they want from you. It's easy, relatively, compared to that. So that's why, after, lots of time spent initially in law and then in this business coaching, I realized that for me and for others, the starting point always has to be, within business as well, but in many other things, always has to be where you're coming from, what is your source, and being able to detach yourself from, your work as your source. Whether it's your work as, doing the work well, or pleasing your boss, or pleasing your clients, that being your source, and be able to be, you know, reconnected to your true source. And I'll speak more on that in other future episodes. And from there, being able to, to prioritize as comes to you. And I'm not saying that, it will necessarily be, uh, you'll spend most of your time on your business at all, but you'll spend quality, on your business you're not when you've reframed your frame of mind around um what is key, you know. And I think I answer this way because I think the people who struggle to do this, to struggle to make time for the businesses, have the tendency to, to want to be perfectionists, to want to be, or to want to please. And that's my experience. It's very anecdotal, but if you're listening and you fall into one of these categories and you want to grow your side business and you want to make it something much bigger than what it is, talk to me. Let's have a conversation. I will put in the application form, or you can reach out to me on my email address, which should be somewhere in there as well in the description. And yeah, hopefully look forward to helping many get unstuck. All right, take care. It's over.